You know, it's pretty amazing how a doctor can figure out exactly what's wrong inside someone's brain, sometimes just by checking their reflexes. It's like being a detective. So today, we're going to do just that. We're going to solve a neurological mystery. And along the way, you'll learn the critical difference between two types of nerve damage. And, most importantly, how to spot a real medical emergency.
Okay, let's set the scene. You're in a busy emergency room. You can feel the tension in the air. A new patient just got rushed in, and you know that every single second counts.
So, we have a 65-year-old man on a gurney. He looks totally confused, really distressed. His family's right there with him, and you can just see the worry all over their faces. The whole team is scrambling, trying to figure out what's going on.
And here's the part that really gets your attention. The word suddenly. I mean, 1 minute he was totally fine, and the next, bam! He's lost control of the whole right side of his body, and he can't get his words out straight. In medicine, we call those major red flags. You know, signs that tell you something is very wrong.
So the big question is, what is going on inside his brain? The central nervous system, it's the body's command center, right? And when it goes haywire, the results can be just devastating. So our job now is to follow the clues, piece by piece, and figure out exactly where the problem is.
All right, so just like any good detective, we need evidence. And in medicine, our magnifying glass is the physical exam. Let's dive in and see what clues the doctor can find.
Okay, I know this list might look like a bunch of complicated medical jargon at first glance. But trust me, every single one of these findings is a critical clue. We've got stiff muscles, really overactive reflexes, and a pretty weird foot reflex. But what's really interesting is that his actual muscles don't seem to be wasting away. So let's break down what these clues are really telling us.
So this brings us to our first big question. Based on these clues, are we looking at a problem with the upper motor neurons or the lower motor neurons? All the evidence we've just gathered is going to point us one way or the other. Let's find out.
Okay, first up, increased tone. What does that even mean? Well, imagine trying to bend a really stiff, kind of rusty hinge. That's pretty much what the doctor is feeling when they try to move our patient's arm and leg. That kind of stiffness has a name. It's called spasticity, and that's clue number 1.
Next up is hyperreflexia. You know that classic knee-jerk reflex, right? When the doctor taps your knee and your leg kicks out. Well, imagine that kick is so strong it feels like it could almost launch a rocket. That is hyperreflexia, and that's our second big clue.
And now, for what is basically the smoking gun in this case, a positive Babinski sign. So here's how it works. In adults, if you stroke the bottom of their foot, their toes should curl down. But with our patient, his big toe goes up. This is a huge clue. It tells us the problem is definitely high up, somewhere in the brain or the spinal cord.
Okay, so let's recap. We've got stiff muscles, over-the-top reflexes, and that toe pointing up. When you put all those clues together, they point to one and only one conclusion: we're dealing with an upper motor neuron, or UMN, lesion. That means the problem is with the nerve cells that start up in the brain and travel down the spinal cord.
Awesome. So we figured out the type of damage. That's a huge step. But now we have our next challenge. Where exactly in the brain is this problem located?
I mean, the brain is this incredibly complex organ, right? So how on earth do we find the one spot where the damage is? Well, it turns out it's all about knowing the brain's secret code.
And here's a really cool, kind of mind-bending rule of neurology. Your brain has contralateral control. It's basically a big crisscross. The left side of your brain controls the right side of your body, and yep, you guessed it, the right side of your brain controls the left.
So think about it. If our patient has weakness on the right side of his body, where does that tell us the problem is? Exactly. It's got to be on the left side of his brain.
But wait, there's more. We have another clue. The fact that he's having trouble speaking points us to the language centers in the brain. And for most people, those are also on the left side. So now we have two really solid pieces of evidence, both pointing to the same place, the left brain.
Okay, we've got the what, an upper motor neuron lesion. We've got the where, the left side of the brain, and we've got the when, it all happens suddenly. It's time. Let's put all the pieces of this puzzle together and make our final diagnosis.
So let's think this through. We have sudden symptoms, and we know there's a specific or focal lesion in the left side of the brain. What's the most likely diagnosis here? What could cause such a rapid and targeted attack like this?
The diagnosis is a stroke.
It's most likely that a blood clot blocked off a major artery in the left side of the brain, probably the middle cerebral artery, and that cut off the blood and oxygen supply to the parts that control movement and speech.
Okay, this is the most important thing I want you to take away from all this. Listen up. A sudden focal neurological deficit, that means sudden weakness, sudden trouble speaking, equals a stroke until proven otherwise. If you ever see this happen to someone, don't wait. Don't hesitate. Call for help immediately. This is the key learning point, and remembering it could literally save a life.
All right, you did it. You totally cracked the case. But now, let's see if you can put those new detective skills to the test. We've got another mini case for you.
Okay, so a new patient comes in, but this time the clues are different. The weakness came on gradually, not suddenly. And look at this. The muscles are actually getting smaller. We call that atrophy. And you can see little twitches, which are called fasciculations. Plus, the reflexes are decreased. So what's going on here?
All right, it's your turn. You've seen all the evidence. What's your call? Is this an upper motor neuron lesion or a lower motor neuron lesion? Think back to the clues from our first case.
And the answer is a lower motor neuron lesion. If you got that, nice work. Let's just quickly compare the two side by side. See? In this case, the tone and reflexes are decreased, not increased. The Babinski sign is normal, not positive. And here are the big giveaways. The muscles are actually wasting away, and we see those little twitches. These are the absolute classic signs that the damage is to the lower motor neurons, the nerves that run from the spinal cord directly to the muscles themselves.